Welcome to the Bourbon Van. I'm Phil.
And I'm Julie, and this is the Budget Bottled and Bond Bourbon Beatdown. Made it!
So this challenge is born out of desperation on my part.
Oh.
My daily drinker, Early Times Bottled and Bond. Not to be confused with the light whiskey that comes in the yellow label, regular Early Times Bottled and Bond. This is a product that was made by Brown-Forman. Suddenly in mid-2020, they sold this to Sazerac company. It was part of a larger deal. I don't know what Sazerac wants with it, but this has been my daily drinker and I love it.
Maybe they won't change it at all.
I've heard rumblings that they're gonna change the recipe. I've heard rumblings that they're gonna get rid of the Bottled and Bond.
Don't do it.
I've heard rumblings that they're gonna discontinue it completely. I have no idea what they want with it, but please, please don't get rid of this bottle. But just in case you do, we're trying out some backups. That's what this challenge is today.
And to add credibility to the channel, 3 out of the 4, I've never tried before.
This is gonna go great. So we've talked about it before on various videos, but Bottled and Bond, basically what it means, it has to be distilled by a single distiller at a single distillery during a single distillation season. It also means that it has to be aged 4 years or more in federally bonded, government monitored warehouses, and it also means that it has to be bottled at exactly 100 proof. The reason we think that these budget bottles are such a great deal is because you know exactly what you're getting. When you see Bottled and Bond, you know you're getting at least a 4-year-old whiskey, and a lot of these are priced better than much younger whiskeys on the market. If you're going into the liquor store, you don't have a ton of money to spend, if you're looking for a good deal, check out Bottled and Bond products.
Yeah, and let's run through the prices because they're so affordable.
So affordable.
First up, we have Evan Williams.
Evan Williams, famously, this bottle is called the White Label, sells for $15 or $16, and it's made by Heaven Hill.
Next up, we have Early Times.
Sells for $25-ish, but you'll notice it's a big bottle. This is a liter for $25. Heck of a deal.
We like value.
Love it.
JTS Brown.
Another Heaven Hill contender, $19 for that bottle.
And finally, Old Tub.
Old Tub, for you big spenders out there, that's a Jim Beam product that sells for $22 a bottle.
And it's fun to say. Old Tub.
It is one of my favorite names in whiskey. It's great. We're just gonna start from right to left. We're both drinking the same thing. I poured them, she mixed them up, so this is a blind tasting.
It'll be fun for you if you try to guess which one it is and put them in order.
Yeah.
And I'm just gonna put them in order.
Yeah.
Except for maybe the Early Times. I'll see if I can pick it out since I've had that one.
I think you'll be able to.
These are surprisingly yummy on the nose. Different.
Glass 1 has a nice caramel to it on the nose, a little vanilla, maybe a little ripe fruit like a cherry.
I'm really digging Glass 2 nose.
Glass 2, a little bit peanutty. There's some grain there. Maybe corn?
Going for my third round, just third time's a charm.
Glass C is like shortbread
They keep
on the
changing.
nose. None of these smells overly complex on the nose, but that's not unusual. 4-year-old whiskey, probably not going to be all that complex on the nose.
No, but for 100 proof, I'm getting a lot of flavors out of it. Because they're less expensive, sometimes you just assume that maybe they'd have higher ethanol, alcohol-y right off the nose. And all 4 of these are actually very pleasant.
Yeah, none of these have that gasoline nose that you get from really strong, really cheap liquor.
I love the smell of glass number 2.
Glass number 1 on the nose for me, I think.
Number 1 is my least favorite.
No kidding?
Yeah.
We're on the same page right off the bat.
Yeah, that's usually how this rolls. I think I go 2, 3, 4, 1.
I think I go 1, 3, 4, 2. That's interesting. We're on complete opposite sides of the spectrum there on the nose.
I'm just making a little note.
Very
so
good.
I can remember what I've told you.
Let's start with glass 1.
All right.
Cheers.
Ooh, that's good.
That's so good. Caramel.
Ooh, I got a weird.
It sort of came and went, that ripe fruit all of a sudden.
This isn't gonna bode well, but I kind of got a weird back taste. What do you say? Like, it's not the finish of
Weird
the
flavor
thing.
on the back of your tongue.
Yeah, I'm getting kind of like a grassy, earthy note on the back end. It's a little strange for me.
It's really subtle, whatever it is. This one completely changed, by the way, from the nose to the palate. I'm getting gentle nuttiness. There's an earthiness there for sure. It's almost like peanut shells and dirt. I'm not saying that in a bad way. It's very sweet and lovely. Yeah. There's definitely caramel in here. There's hints of vanilla. The fruit that
coming through too, a little bit.
A little bit of proof. Yeah, there's a tingle on the tongue. I thought that was going to be very fruity because as soon as it hit my tongue, I got like a bright cherry note and then it was gone just like that. Now it's all peanuts.
Yeah, like a nut. There's a nuttiness in there, but
yeah, I shouldn't say peanuts. I think it's just a hint of shells.
Yeah, but also there's an undertone of chocolate, an undertone of not like milk chocolate, but just like an undertone of almost like unsweetened chocolate.
Huh, that's interesting. I didn't notice it until you said that, but yeah, that's part of that earthiness, I feel like.
There's something also, I just got like a hint, sorry, I just took another sip of glass one. I'm trying not to make that mistake that I always do where I just dance around a lot and then I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah, just hammer it all
But
down.
I got a little bit of like orange or something in that one now.
There's yeah, I was wondering if that spice was more fruit zest than anything else, but I couldn't identify the fruit.
Like a zest, yeah.
Let's go on to glass 2.
Oh, well that's different than the nose.
This reminds me a little bit of glass 1. It really coats well. The mouthfeel on this one is way better than glass 1. There's a little touch of new oak here. Yeah. Not really toasted or charred oak. Still a little bit of a peanut note, but that shortbread, that like sort of spicy cookie, like a savory cookie that's not overly sweet. I got that on the nose here and I'm getting more of it here on the palate.
I'm definitely getting some of that nuttiness.
Now there's a nice like vanilla on the back end of this. It finishes really nice and sweet. Not overly complex again, but what's there is pleasant enough.
I don't really know if that sweetness that I'm tasting is like a chocolate note, but it almost like coats like a chocolate.
It feels more like an oak to me.
Yeah.
Sometimes I confuse chocolate with oak, especially when it's not overly sweet. I do think the sweetness is more honey than anything else. It's more candy-like than richness. That's pretty good. The finish isn't very long-lasting.
I feel very perplexed. These aren't very familiar flavors for me. There's not cherries or strawberries or pears or whatever. I'm not actually sure what I'm tasting. We keep saying earthy, but they're kind of like deeper, dirtier flavors.
I think I know where you're going with this. Because these are 4-year products, 5 years maybe on these. I don't think that any of them go any older than that. I think you get a little bit of the grain note. And so I think that what I got on glass 2 more than anything else, I think was a little bit of corn. I think that's a corn grain
My brain doesn't even think about stuff like that.
Glass 1 and 2 had a little bit of corn. I got sweeter, probably corn on glass 1, but a little bit more grainy, complex, earthy on glass 2 for that corn note.
I made that note so that when I come back the other way, I'm gonna see if I can pick it out.
Fair enough. Let's move on to glass 3.
Oh, I do. This one?
Oh man, this one's got a peanut brittle. This is a peanut brittle nose now.
I was like, ooh, this smells really good. And then all of a sudden I was like, it kind of smells like lemon pledge, which is not a great, it just, not a great tasting note.
This one's not my favorite. This one kicks you in the back of the throat. It's got a really spicy finish. It's nutty. There's caramel sweetness. It's almost like
this is the sweetest one that we've tasted though.
This one reminds me of a Payday. If when you went to swallow it, you were like, I didn't like that Payday. It's great.
It's such an old school candy. I love it.
It's great until all of a sudden it's not great.
Payday's actually an interesting tasting note because Paydays are, well, besides the nougat, yeah. Paydays are actually, besides the nougat, it's just caramel and peanuts, right?
Yeah,
salted peanuts.
This has a caramel, vanilla, peanutty sort of thing going on that I don't dislike it. It's just not my favorite combo. And it does have the nose on it is a little off.
Cinnamon on this?
Yeah.
Do you taste cinnamon?
Yeah, there's cinnamon here.
I hate saying bright because I can't eloquently tell you what that word even means, but like in my head it's like they're lighter and sunshinier. I'm not sure, like they're just...
You're getting sunshiny and I'm getting like dusty peanut shells off a barn floor.
Fun.
Try this. Take a little sip on glass 3. Take a little sip and just push it around on your tongue for a while. Don't swallow it right away.
I don't like that.
Does that taste like peanut brittle to you?
No.
Oh, it does to me.
I mean, all of these so far have a definite like nutty undertone.
Yeah, I think I know what that is.
Well, don't tell me.
I'm not going to tell you, but that flavor profile, that I don't think it could be anything other than what I'm thinking it is. Not that I thought that you thought that it was what I thought it was.
Cool. I'm moving on to the next one. I'm confused about glass 3.
Yeah.
I can't tell if I like it or if I don't like it.
That's a really fair tasting note. For that glass, that's probably the best tasting note.
Because I'm like, oh, I really enjoyed that. Or did I?
Well, now I'm really excited for glass 4. Oh, that's
Wow, I just keep
This
smelling
is
it.
so sweet and fruity and caramely now. It's totally different.
Ooh, ooh, ooh! Holy smokes, the cherry. There's actual like
Real,
okay, so I will say
real
that
flavors.
this one for me has the most breakout of. This is my categorizing, like I'm boxing things out.
Yeah.
This one
Just
for me
exactly
has the
what people would
most-
think you're doing.
So this one for me has the most. I don't want to say complexity because we're not dealing with some of these.
I
but
actually would
they have,
say that it has
like
the most.
the flavor. You can actually like kind of start separating things. Pretty sweet. I can get some cherries on this one. That's always a bonus for me.
I was gonna say caramel at first, but I think it's a little bit of like butterscotch. Maybe a hint of vanilla on the finish.
melted.
There's cherry, vanilla, chocolate, butterscotch. It's really nice. And a little, the oak is nice here. There's some charred oak, some toasted
Yeah.
oak in this.
This whole video, I know that I'm gonna look like so concerned because my face keeps doing this little thing.
You contort every time you
I
enjoy
know,
something.
but I'm
Sure.
really thinking this one through. This one is an easy lead.
Easily
lead.
number one. Easily.
And if I remember correctly, I didn't hate the nose. I did put it in third, but
I put it in the same place you did on the nose. So this is the first one that doesn't taste like any sort of nuts. Not almonds, not peanuts, no earthiness. This hits my palate much more accurately than pleasingly, yes. Much more so than the first three.
I'm gonna do a quick.
We'll rip through them from glass 4 to
myself.
glass 1, and then we'll do a little bit of A/B testing. At this point, I haven't even gotten to glass 1 yet. I think I can take glass 3 out of the mix.
And right now, that's my second favorite.
Really,
Yeah.
it's dead last for me. By as they say, by a country mile.
Oh. Do they say that?
I don't know if it means a longer distance or a shorter distance. I think it means a long way.
I think it's a longer distance.
Okay. Right now, before I do A/B testing, 4, 1, 2, 3 is my order.
Well, good for you.
Just sharing some information here.
No, I totally.
Oh,
yeah.
you're difficult.
I need a moment to think
Okay.
things through. Glass 3 nose is just so strange. I've said this 3 times already, but if I can't, this is my 4th time.
I think so. It feels like 4.
I'm gonna have to throw it into that boat of like I don't like it, because if I can't decide that I liked it at this point, then these challenges aren't good for me because I can't make up my mind. There's always like a front runner, and then I get just like in the weeds, and then I start drinking them all, and then they're gone, and I'm like, can I just give you my number 1 and just call it at that? No, I'm just kidding.
I was just gonna tell you I'm done. I'm gonna order mine here. Glass 4 is obviously my front runner from the start, but glass 2 has probably my favorite oak flavor. It's a little more than new oak. It's pretty lovely though.
These are my word.
The word of the day is still lovely. I sure hope that glass 3 is good in cocktails,
I'm
because
going
I
against
don't
the
see
grain on
myself.
this one.
I don't see myself drinking glass 3 anytime soon.
You're not gonna be happy with how I'm fleshing these out.
They're all good budget bourbons. I don't really care what you do.
I don't have anything left, so
One quick note while Julie's making her final tallies. We did not include Wild Turkey 101 in this because it's not a bottled and bond product.
101.
It's also a couple of dollars more. Also, Rittenhouse, Bottled and Bond, the price is right, but it's a rye. We're going exclusively bourbons for this challenge.
I'm ready. My number 1 shoe-in. The other 3 were a little tricky for me. I'm not like super thrilled with any of them.
Same. For me, if we weren't comparing them against each other or blinding them, I think glasses 1, 2, and 4 are palatable and satisfying enough. I could just sit with them and have them as a daily sipper and be quite happy. Why don't you tell me what your last place glass was?
My last place glass is number 1.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Letter C.
I rearranged mine like an idiot. That came in second for me.
I'm not surprised that we're gonna be drastically different on this.
Yeah. 4th place for you, 2nd for me. C is Heaven Hill JTS Brown.
Oh, okay. First time having it.
I've become sort of fond of this bottle because it's so easy to drink and unassuming. It's a great daily sipper.
Yeah.
It doesn't have the complexity. As a budget bottle, I don't want it to offend my senses, and that's why I placed it so highly, because if I'm not gonna get what I really want, then at least I should have something that's not going to bother me when I'm drinking it.
I really enjoyed the flavors of this one. That chocolate, I got a little orange, I got that oakiness.
Wow,
the
you got more than
peanutty.
I did.
Yeah, I got the flavors on it, but at the end, it was like every time I took a sip, it just got overpowered by by the proof. Even though it's like 100 proof, kept coming back up. And so like those initial couple sips, I was like, oh no, this is gonna for sure make it. And then at the end, it just didn't pull its weight.
So what I liked about it is that it doesn't bring much to the table. On your palate, what you disliked about it is that it brought maybe too much to the table.
Yeah, maybe.
Super interesting. What is third place for you?
This is so confusing when we're doing two different ones.
I know,
so
I'm the worst.
Third place for me is letter D.
That was my third as well. Let's find out what that was.
All right, we agreed on something.
Third D, Evan Williams.
Huh.
I'm surprised that you put the two Heaven Hill bottles at the bottom. In my mind, those are the two easy drinking, unassuming. There's not a ton of flavor, but what is there to me is very pleasant. This bottle to me has nice oak, nice sweetness, a little earthiness, easy drinkability. This one has a little bit of heat that I'm not crazy about. I knew that I had the Heaven Hill bottles in second and third based on just what I remember of their flavors, but I didn't expect to have JTS Brown above Evan Williams. That's a bit of a surprise to me.
Maybe you just have me wanting more. We've done that Advent tournament and all of the other stuff that...
You've got a thirst now.
It was close. This could have come in second for me. That third glass was kind of strange for me. I didn't know if I liked it or not, and at the end I decided that I liked it.
Well, you're not the biggest fan of Henry McKenna bottled
No.
and bond. Heaven Hill makes all these different bottled and bonds. They've got the JTS Brown, Evan Williams, the Henry McKenna up here in the back, Heaven Hill 7-year bottled and bond, which we can't get here. Because you don't like McKenna, I shouldn't be surprised that those two came in third and fourth for you.
All right, well, I'm sure we know where this is going. So let's just do our number one, which I fairly confident.
Glass B?
Glass B, baby.
Yeah, I don't think there's any question what this one is. Of course it's the early times.
So this is my lineup here. I'm surprised by this. You did give me a sip of this, so I guess I'll take back my initial that I haven't had.
Yeah, I did a Whiskey in the Van Wednesday of this not
Yeah.
too long ago that you tried because
Yeah, I can't
didn't
remember what
finish
my
it.
reaction was that day.
It wasn't positive.
So it's a little bit of I don't know. I shouldn't be surprised because I hadn't had.
They're all budget
Any of
bottles.
these, so.
Nobody said any of these are legendary bottles. The Jim Beam bottle, the old tub, the hype surrounding this bottle this year, it's everywhere. Everybody's crazy about it. It's unfiltered, so it's got more flavor than most bottles and yada, yada, yada. But to me, if the flavors I'm looking for aren't there, and in that bottle, they're not. It's peanutty, it's spiky, it's kind of all over the place, and I'm not a big Jim Beam guy. If your palate is more attuned to that flavor profile, if you like the Jim Beam flavor profile, I could see this being a terrific daily drinker for you. And at that price point, yeah, it's a legendary bottle. Great. On my palate, I prefer the flavor profile of Early Times. I don't think I'll touch that one again. I'm kind of done with that bottle.
For me, 1, 2, 3 here, mixers. I can't see myself drinking a glass of these.
I imagine that the old tub would be a great mixer, by the way.
But new appreciation for Early Times, because I did kind of give you a hard time about it earlier in the year that I didn't really understand the flavors. I mean, this, miles ahead. Complexity of deliciousness.
That cherry caramel vanilla chocolate sweetness with a little bit of oak, its complexity is unrivaled in this competition, and the value, $25 for a liter, is still way cheaper than any of these other three bottles.
I feel a little sad that it got sold off this year, and fingers crossed that it stays the same because it's really delicious.
Sazerac, do the right thing.
Over.
Do the right thing, Sazerac. Just be cool.
This is me. Boop, 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 boop. And then you swapped these two, right?
That's right. Yeah. Yeah.
So
For
Old
me,
Top came in last.
I really like the sweetness on that JTS Brown bottle. That little easy drinking light brown sugar on a Tuesday afternoon at 3:30 or something. This bottle I'll drink more of. The Evan Williams, pleasant enough that if Early Times goes away, that'll be a suitable filler for a short period of time until I find something else. But for me, the hunt goes on for a daily drinking bottle and bond product, at least a budget bottle and bond product. Satisfied?
Yeah, I had zero expectations going in, so perfect.
All right. Well, this was a lot of fun. Hopefully, the next time you're at the liquor store looking for a budget bottle, this helps you choose something. At the very least, it should give you some idea of the value that you can get in these bottled and bond products.
Yeah.
They really are a stellar product. And when you compare them with all the 2-year-old straight whiskeys on the market that don't really hold a candle to these, they really are all a good value.
Yeah, I'll say if you need a hold of the early times, go for it. This Evan Williams specifically, people go crazy for.
Love the white label.
Wins like competition versus bourbons 5 times its price point. So
people love to throw that in.
Just because I'm putting it in a third doesn't, and you're putting it in a third.
People love to take that Evan Williams white label and throw it into much more expensive blind tasting challenges.
And who knows? Like if we're all on the same. We're 100 proof. We're all on budgets. If you threw it into like a $60 challenge or something.
Who knows? We might do that next. Hopefully you enjoyed this. If you did, hit that subscribe button, ring the bell so you never miss a notification from us. Were we dead wrong on our choices right here? Let us know in the comments.
Maybe.
Hit the like button if you enjoyed this video. And as always, thank you for following along with all of the silly things that we do.
And the nonsense.
Yeah.
So from wherever we are
to wherever you are.
Cheers.
Cheers.